Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you the new OP15 Purple Enel, explain my deck list and show you some informative gameplay so that you can see how strong this leader is and its potential to be a meta contender. The new Enel leader is purple and has 5 life. As an additional rule, when you use this leader, your Dawn deck can only have 6 cards. His ability is Activate Main, once per turn. If it's your second turn or later, you add 1 active Dawn and up to 4 rested Dawn. Then you can attach up to 4 rested Dawn to one of your characters. That might sound confusing at first, but let me simplify it and explain why it's so strong. Basically, this leader ramps your entire Dawn deck back every turn, gives you an extra active Dawn to use, and lets you attach 4 rested Dawn to a character for free. This means you can spend all your Dawn on Dawn minus effects, and still start your next turn at max Dawn. The attach part is huge too, because you're basically giving plus 4,000 power for free every turn. That means your 2,000 power searchers can swing into leader, or your bigger bodies can swing for massive numbers without costing you anything extra. Keep in mind you do not have to add any Dawn to use the attaching part of the ability, so you are always able to use it as long as you are able to spend your Dawn that turn. Overall, this leader effectively gives you 11 Dawn worth of value each turn while always keeping you at max Dawn from the second turn, and because of that, the 6 Dawn deck restriction is way less of a downside than it looks compared to how insanely strong this ability is. This is the deck I'll be using for the gameplay today. There are a few more cards from OP15 that have been revealed which will boost the consistency of the deck, and I'll probably be using those later, but with this list I can still clearly demonstrate the game plan. Once the new cards are added to the sim, I'll definitely make another video, because I really enjoy this leader. He's very unique, really fun to play, and I think there are multiple ways you can build a deck around his effect. And most importantly, Enel is one of my favorite characters, who did nothing wrong and is very kind. First up, we have the OP09 Law Searcher. It grabs Straw Hat Crew cards, and you'll see a lot of those synergize really well with the leader's effect. I'm running a lot of cheap bodies so I can always get extra swings from the leader's Dawn attachment. Next is Ohm. Like most of the new priests, he has the on-play Dawn -1, draw 1, which in this deck isn't a downside at all, it's actually an upside, because we're always ramping back to max Dawn anyway and we still get an active Dawn. Right now, there's no way to specifically search Sky Island cards in purple, so drawing is actually the best way to find our pieces. He also has an effect that works at 6 or less Dawn like all the other priests, which you're basically always guaranteed to have. And when he attacks, he gives a character minus 1,000 power, which can really help you clear board when you need to. Next is Gadatsu, with the same on-play effect. When he gets KO'd, he can KO one of your opponent's characters with 2,000 power or less. This has a lot of uses, like removing a small blocker, getting rid of a value engine like Black Maria, popping a searcher, or just clearing something that would have swung into your smaller bodies and keeping your board alive. Shura also has the same on-play effect and he gains Rush. He's basically a 6,000 power rush for only 1 Dawn, talk about value. Next is Nami, just another Straw Hat Searcher, nothing more to say really. This 3-cost Nami from OP09 is very good with Enel. She's mainly used as a 2k counter, but her effect lets you return any amount of Dawn and then attach 2 rested Dawn to a character. This is really strong in Enel, because you can attach 3 Dawn to something to swing, then return those Dawn with Nami's effect to be used again with the leader ability. You're basically getting 8 Dawn worth of value for the price of 3. The 3-cost Zoro from OP09 is great as well, because he's effectively a 2-cost 5k body, which lets us attack more in this aggressive strategy. He also has the benefit, like Nami, of returning Dawn to your Dawn deck to be reused with the leader ability. Next is the 3-cost Tony Chopper from OP09. He's a blocker that can rest an opponent's Dawn or a 1-cost character, either resting some potential counter or a small blocker for the cost of 2 Dawn. Once again, this is good because you can just reuse that Dawn with the leader effect. Next is the 4-cost Frankie from OP09. He lets you Dawn -2 to discard 1 and draw 2. It's a nice effect to boost the consistency and hand size of the deck, and it also puts Dawn back so you can ramp again. This is a very strong turn 2 play when you're going second. Next is the 6-cost Sanji, an amazing card for this deck. He's a 2k counter and a blocker, and he only costs 3 if you have 2 less Dawn than your opponent, which you usually will. In the unlikely case that you don't, you can use an effect like Zoro or Chopper to drop your Dawn back down and play him before ramping again. For the last character, we have the new SR 6-cost Enel, who is, at least for now, the big boss of this deck. While you have 6 or less Dawn, he has 10k power and can't be removed by effects. So from your third turn onward, you're basically guaranteed to be dropping a 10k body that can't be removed by effects, which is pretty crazy. He also has an Activate, main ability where you Dawn -1 and trash 1 card, and he gains blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. You can do this every turn, so part of the skill curve of this deck is knowing when to attack with him and when to leave him up as a blocker. And something important to note is that if you have 0 cards in hand, you don't actually have to trash anything. So if you have, say, 4 of these guys and no cards in hand, you can turn all of them into blockers for basically free. Next is Jet Gatling. It's a searchable counter event that helps with the survivability of the deck. For copies is probably a bit overkill considering I only run 2 bricks, but it's been working well for me so far. Finally, we have Lightning, which is kind of funny because it's lightning not produced by Enel himself. It's a 2-cost event that lets you Dawn -2 to KO a 6k body. This is really good value, because for only 2 Dawn you're usually removing a 4, 5, or even 6-cost character. You can also combine this with power reduction like Gamma Knife or Brooke to make it even more effective. Overall, this deck is a beatdown deck that requires a lot of sequencing and a lot of decisions during your turns. Let's get to the gameplay. For the first game we are against a Dawn Krieg. It's a new leader that I haven't played much or seen data from. I think that it is supposed to be control like Shanks but with some green shenanigans as well. I prefer to go first as I can start attacking earlier and playing the 6-cost Enel on the earliest turn possible as you are guaranteed to play it on your third turn no matter how much Dawn you have. I try to mulligan for the 6-cost Enel and maybe at least one searcher preferably as Enel is not searchable. This hand has exactly that so I keep it. I play out Law over Shura so I have more Dawn to work with next turn and I grab Zoro as I will be able to play him next turn. He passes playing nothing. Swing 5k first to not give any information. Play Zoro out then Shura and swing 6k with Law. I prefer to use the draw cards currently than the searcher so that I can find Enel also can accumulate more value of course. He plays Arlong then swings. I will take my life early basically always as I believe I can win faster than other decks and would rather the counter in hand to protect my board and draw cards to find more pieces for combos. He cannot use Arlong's effect as all my Dawn are already attached. I shall do my swings before playing anything, then I will play Enel and use the blocker effect as he won't be attacking anyway. It also allows me to ramp an active Dawn so that I can swing 7 to leader which if you didn't know is a lot better than 6 as it requires 2 cards out of hand assuming they don't have events. He plays Pearl which is like Sanji Chopper plus Lucky Roo. I swing my Zoro first so that if it's popped at least it attacked. I then lightning on the blocker as I want to go aggressive here. If he pops my Shura I can just use the rush Shura and attach. I stupidly forget he used the Rayleigh event lol. Even the best make mistakes for real. He is not able to play a blocker so I win. GG's, on to the next one. Next we are against Brooke, another new leader. His ability of setting any card as active for free is incredibly strong, but he has to work very hard to get to 0 cards in deck, which I can easily win before that point. This hand is not perfect as it has no Enel, but it at least has Zoro for turn 2. Get Chopper as it is the only option. It will be good against this leader anyway as they have a few counter events. We top deck Enel luckily. With the new Enel it won't be as big as an issue, but not being able to drop 6 cost Enel each turn when you have nothing better to do is very bad for us. He plays the promo Nico Robin blocker, letting him draw and discard when it dies. I will use Zoro, then swing 6 and 7. I'll take. Play out Enel and do my swings as normal. Get out ohms so that if he removes my law I got another body to attach to. Pause. I can just block with Enel, no need to give any counter. Let's just repeat the same as last turn, increase board size and chip away. No need to try and go for game here, we are healthy. I will keep my board alive so we can win next turn. Use lightning to remove a blocker and he left 3 Dawn open, so I will use Chopper to hopefully remove a counter event. Do little swings to waste counter events. GG, he seemed to have the 3-cost event that healed, so the chopper was very useful, although I think the game was in my favor either way, lol. That's it for today's video. It was shorter than usual as it's just a taste of what the Enel deck plays like due to all the cards not being released. I will probably make another video once I can showcase all of his cards. Hopefully it got you hyped for Purple Enel. Drop a comment if you have any recommendations. Have a good day, goodbye.
この寂しさいつかは思い出になるはずさ素晴らしい日々を噛み続けてたガムを夜になって吐き捨てたしてたけどずっと昔の僕の